Hello, and welcome to Page to Stage Actual Plays. My name is Seth. I'm your host and keeper of arcane lore. Tonight we're playing Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition in a short scenario called Deadlight. We'll get to introduce our players in just a few minutes, but wanted to let you guys know that we're using Sirenscape for our ambient and background sounds, and Roll20 for our virtual tabletop. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to jump in and kind of do a short vignette to introduce each of our characters, and we'll take it from there. So the camera pans in. We're at Miskatonic University in Arkham. It's in late April 1920, and there's a faculty meeting going on. And there's probably a room full of 30 to 40 faculty members, some general commotion going on. And you see a well-dressed, sort of handsome older gentleman, sort of a silver fox. He has his hair parted neatly to the right. And this is, Preston, you know this man is Dean Fallon. So he's the Dean of Social Sciences at Miskatonic University. And he calls the meeting to order and he says, all right, let's go ahead and get started here. First order of business, there's been a death. I don't know how many of you know Joshua Hobhouse, but he's a local dilettante and last surviving proprietor of the Hobhouse estate in Vermont. He's recently passed away, and the university has been asked to help in the assessment of some of his papers and belongings he left behind in the estate. As you may or may not know, the Hobhouse estate has been rumored to be a treasure trove of diaries, historical documents, pictures, and artifacts that span the history of New England. So clearly the university would have an interest in such a cache of documents. We'll need a professor from the Colonial Studies or maybe the History Department to head up the assessment. Are there any volunteers? Anybody who'd be interested in heading this up? So Preston, go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll.
I got a 25 out of 50.
Nice.
Hard success.
Hard success. So sitting to your right is Professor Roach, and he's balding and has kind of like a bad comb over and has big Coke bottle glasses. And you see him about to speak up, and he's like, and then just as he does that, another professor stands up, and you know this professor as Professor Charles Leiter. And he's sort of handsome, not very handsome, but he has like a certain confidence that sort of makes it seem like he's more handsome than perhaps he is. And you see him stand up as Professor Roach is about to say something, and he says, Dean, I'd be happy to head up the assessment of the Hobhouse estate. And at that moment, you see Professor Roach sitting next to you, and he darts up, and he's like, Dean, really, it should go to me. I mean, I've published many works, and Professor Leiter, he's fine, but he's just a young man. I'm a more established, I have tenure here at the university. I feel like it should be me taking on this very, very important role for the university. And Dean kind of sits back in his chair and, well, Professor Roach, I understand, but I feel that Professor Leiter here, he is, a professor of colonial studies, and as the Hobhouse estate has many documents pertaining to that particular subject, I feel like he might be more well-suited to take on this role. And you see Professor Roach sitting next to you kind of huffing. And then Professor Leiter just kind of smiles and nods his head at the dean and takes a seat. So the dean kind of moves on to the next agenda item, and he says, next, let's see, we have a student trip this weekend heading out to Ipswich. Dr. Blackwell, you're going to be taking a student trip out to Ipswich to see a seance? Am I understanding that correctly? And Dr. Blackwell stands up, and Preston, this is your student advisor, so you know him. He works with you through your graduate studies. And he says, yes, that's right, Dean. There is a medium that is performing in Ipswich this weekend, and she's well known in Europe and in European social circles. She's on the cutting edge of parapsychology. Apparently, she has allegedly been able to speak with the dead. And I think it would be an interesting learning experience for our student body to see this medium. Says Dean Fallon. He's like, well, it seems like a odd academic endeavor to me. You're going to be overseeing this trip, Dr. Blackwell? Dr. Blackwell says, well, actually, I've got a few papers that I need to get to today. I've got to prepare for class on Monday. But I have assigned Mr. Cobb here, Mr. Preston Cobb. He's one of our graduate students here at Miskatonic. I've put him in charge of this student trip. Mr. Cobb, would you care to say anything?
Yes, Dean Fallon. I think I'm more than qualified to take this trip on behalf of the university. I do have the full graces of Dr. Blackwell here. And I will bring you back my findings, as strange as the subject may sound.
I see, Dean Fallon says. And how many students are going to be going on this trip?
Well, just one, a young lady. But I promise I will escort her in the most gentlemanly fashion.
And Dr. Blackwell stands up and he's like, yes, Amelia Court. She's offered to go on the trip as well. And Amelia's actually in the room with you guys, and she stands up and she's like, yes, Dean, I'll be accompanying the trip and going to the performance as well. And Dean kind of looks perplexed, like unsure about the student trip. And he says, well, all right. Dr. Blackwell, have you procured a university vehicle for this trip? And Dr. Blackwell says, yes. Preston, do you have a vehicle for this trip, or?
Oh, yes. I can just take my car.
Oh, yes. Dean, it'll be fine. He has his own car. And the dean is kind of like, well, I'm a little worried about legal issues. Preston, is this car, is it reliable?
I assure you it is in a tip-top shape. I mean, it traveled here all the way from Savannah. It's the best of the line.
Nice.
All right. I suppose. Preston, please report back and let us know how this student trip went. Hopefully it has some academic merit.
I assure you, I will.
Nice. We probably should have done this first, but Jonathan, do you want to tell us a little bit about what Preston Cobb looks like? Maybe a physical description?
Yeah, Preston Cobb is he's like 24 years old. He's of average height, kind of lanky, blonde hair, green eyes, which his mother says is his best feature. And other than that, pretty much unremarkable. He dresses like a gentleman. He believes he is a gentleman and wants to look that way always. Nice. He is from Savannah, Georgia.
All right, so we fade out of the Miskatonic faculty lounge, and we fade into the Boston Police Department, where Detective Opal Dark works. Michelle, do you want to tell us what Opal Dark looked like? Maybe a physical description and anything else?
Yes, Opal Dark is from Boston, and she is 38 years old. See, I was sounding like a Southern person.
Yeah.
She's 38 years old.
You getting the vapors?
I was getting the fine fumes. She's from Boston, and she is from a police family. Her dad was a fine, renowned, honored cop, and she wants to be better, but be also talked about just as much. So she's a detective now. She started out as a beat cop, and she's a detective with her own office and pretty good amount of cred. She works hard to try to keep that cred. She is of average height, dark, short hair. She doesn't want to get too caught up in refinery, but she is very much looks like a young lady. And often while she's working too many cases, you may see her break away for a cigarette, as is her vice, only when working and under a lot of stress. She also has a scar from her cop days that she keeps hidden, so she'll often wear gloves to hide the fact that she has that scar.
Nice. All right, so we pull into Police Chief Ozza Reed's office, and you see kind of a portly gentleman, kind of rough-looking, deep creases in his face, step out of his office and say, Detective Doc, come on in here. I need to speak with you for a minute.
All right, boss. What you need?
Yeah, go ahead and sit down. Listen, I understand your caseload. You've been working a couple cases here for the last week. I know you might be a little overloaded. How are you feeling?
Yeah, nothing I can't handle.
All right. Listen, I probably wouldn't normally give you this assignment, but I've got all of my detectives out in the field already. There's a seance being held in Ipswich, Massachusetts this Saturday. And the medium, the performer, Miss Eva Carriere, apparently she's some European medium, fairly well known. Anyway, she had a performance last week in New York, I believe, and there was a young lady who was in attendance at the performance, and she is since gone missing. The Vic's name is one Ursula Devereaux. She's 20, from New York. So I'd like you. I've actually got a couple tickets from the Miskatonic University in Arkham. They're putting together a student trip to go see Miss Carriere's performance in Ipswich, and I was hoping that maybe you could go along, and I'm not sure what you can find, but just kind of check it out, maybe get an interview with Miss Carriere, and see what you can find out about this missing woman.
Yeah, I've heard that name. I think up to no good. I can go find out some stuff. You want me to be a little undercover, boss?
Yeah, I think that's probably a wise idea. It's going to be a student trip, maybe some faculty from the university going, so you probably don't want to stand out. Don't flash any badges or anything. And again, she's just a person of interest at this point. We don't know that she's a suspect, but we know that there was a girl, again, who went to the show and hasn't showed up since. So just kind of look into it and report back to me with what you find out.
You got it, boss.
Do you have any questions or anything before you head out?
I can still bring my gun, right?
Sure, yeah. Just keep it in your holster, unseen.
You got it.
All right. So we'll pull back, and the camera pans to an attorney's office, and there's a young man with slick back hair, with heavy cream in it. It seems like it's kind of
heavy cream,
wet almost gel, maybe. Gel in the 1920s. And we see James Furman sitting out in the waiting room. Thomas, do you want to tell us a little bit about James and maybe what he looks like?
So for anybody born after 1990, just picture Stacy Keach, for people born before, but picture like a late 40s guy, not in the greatest shape, looks like he's been through quite a bit. Mustache covers, full upper lip. Got a pretty prominent scar on his throat. Wears a hat even when indoors. Just looks like a guy who's been through the ringer, but just keeps plugging along. I'd say he's about 5'10", 190 pounds. So he's not in the greatest shape, but he just seems to have a very high constitution.
Nice. All right. So this attorney you've actually worked with before. So James Furman's a private eye, and
nice.
You're often contacted by attorneys for various investigatory reasons. So he steps out into his waiting room and says, "Oh yes, Mr. Furman, please come in."
All right. So James walks on in without saying a word.
And please, just go ahead and have a seat.
Business as usual. Sits down, just ready to go for this, next case.
Would you care for a drink?
I could wet my whistle. That sounds good. We got some water. That'd be fine.
Oh, sure. Water. Hang on. And he hits the little communicator on his desk and says, "Miss White, can we get a water in here, please?" Yeah, I You're good. You don't need whiskey or sherry or anything like that.
No, I'm fine. I got my own on me. I'm okay.
I see. Okay,
But I'm a little parched.
I see. Yes. So listen, I have a client. There is a medium performing in Ipswich, Massachusetts this weekend. Her name is Madame Eva Carriere.
Okay.
From all accounts, she seems to be, I don't know, a quack of some sort. She holds these seances that contacting of the dead. Apparently, there's been some production of ectoplasm, images of dead people. The list goes on. I'm not quite sure what happens at these performances. But it seems to me that she may perhaps be some kind of huckster. She's known to travel with women apprentices, and her performances have been rumored to be a bit sexual in nature.
Oh gosh, I don't know about that. Hey, I'll go, but geez.
Well, listen. I mean, so I have a client, and she was apparently duped in by this woman, this Madame Eva Carriere, and apparently gave her some sum of money and to contact the dead, and Miss Carriere never came through with actually contacting these dead people, or I don't know, my client wasn't happy with the services that were rendered, and so she is thinking of bringing a fraud case against Miss Carriere, and I'm not sure exactly what you might find at the seance, but I would like you to go and just see what you can find out about Miss Carriere herself, and perhaps about what happens at these performances. It's a bit muddled. I'm not sure what happens there, but Arthur Conan Doyle actually has seen these performances, and apparently she's very big in Europe. And he seems to believe that she is legitimate, that she can actually speak with the dead and produce this ectoplasm and images of the dead. I'm not sure.
Hey, well, whether it's legitimate or not, I'll go check it out, and just it's a civil suit, so I got to find some concrete evidence, and I'll see what I can find, and I'll bring back some stuff for your client, and if there's anything there, I'll let you know. But if not, then I'll bring you evidence of the contrary, and you can continue on.
Perfect. Always great working with you, Mr. Furman. Thank you.
So he flips over his notebook that he's been taking notes in, and he gets up and walks right out, because this is just a job.
Nice. All right, so let's. Should we quickly introduce our players here and just kind of go around the table here? So, Jonathan, do you want to say hello to the people?
Yeah, hi. I'm Jonathan. You can find me on Twitter at JJ3Seal, and you can find me here on alternate running streams on Page to Stage, running Cyberpunk Red.
Nice. Michelle, hello.
I'm Michelle, and you can find me here because I don't have Twitter.
Nice.
And Thomas.
And I'm new.
Oh,
and you're
yes,
new.
yes. Michelle is new to Call of Cthulhu, so yep, this is her first scenario. Very good.
So enjoy.
I'm Thomas. I've played a little bit of Call of Cthulhu, mostly D&D, and you can find me in the bushes outside your window.
All right, so
so good.
I assume from here that Preston, you must. So it's a Thursday when we run through all those little vignettes. I kind of assumed that maybe on Friday, maybe Preston had set up kind of a little meet and greet, maybe at a cafe, so that all of the people who signed up for the student trip could get together and meet each other and sort of coordinate for departure on the following Saturday. So, Jonathan, where do you think Preston may have set up this little meet and greet to?
Well, is it just Amelia Court joining him, or is there more than her?
So Dr. Blackwell is going to join with you for now.
Okay.
Again, he's busy for the weekend, so he's going to kind of let you head up the actual expedition, so to speak. But he's going to be here to kind of see who comes and just sort of sort out the details and stuff like that.
So was she like an early sign up then, and we're just waiting for more signups? Is that how that's going?
Yeah. So that's a good question. So you didn't get much interest from the student body at Miskatonic. And you got varying parties sort of calling about tickets, because this is an exclusive ticket and Miskatonic was able to kind of get their hands on it. So you haven't had a lot of interest from other students and or faculty, but you did get a few calls and a few people calling you back about securing some tickets, but you're not sure who to expect.
Oh, from the public, you mean?
From the public, yeah.
Okay.
So in this case, Detective Dark and Mr. Furman, I guess.
Yeah. So I think Preston would just basically enlist them to meet him outside his favorite movie theater. That's basically, he loves the movies, and so he would just say, yeah, meet me outside the theater. We'll be meeting there 10 a.m. or whatever time is appropriate for when you think that this party should be leaving.
That works. So we're gonna call it Friday so that you guys have a day basically to kind of prepare for travel. The performance will be on Saturday, so if you want to do Friday at 10 a.m., we could probably do that.
Sure.
Okay. So, all right. So we'll say that there's a theater in Arkham, Massachusetts, and both Mr. Furman and Detective Dark are able to get there by 10 a.m. So I guess Preston Cobb is standing outside the theater along with Dr. Blackwell and Miss Amelia Court, since they all traveled together from Miskatonic. And we'll say, Mr. Furman, you walk up first, and you see this trio of students and faculty standing there.
Okay. Hey guys, how's it going?
I think that Preston would just defer to his upper to see how he responds to.
Okay.
Just some random 45-year-old man walking up and saying, "How's it going?"
Pretty much.
Yeah. He says, how do you do? Are you here for the student trip?
Yes. I got a ticket here. I'm here. I'm here to go along with you guys. Right? I do have a ticket, don't I? I got one from.
They have the tickets. They're gonna have the tickets.
Okay.
But
they're out the tickets.
How are you dressed?
Trench coat, private eye shit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
yeah. No, I'm dressed up just like a regular 45-year-old guy, just in a slacks and in a shirt and a trench coat.
Okay. Do you look like a private eye, or are you kind of like trying to blend in here? No,
I just got we're in Boston. It's April, so it might rain. So I do have a trench coat and a hat, but I'm not like, I don't have the collar up and the hat down. I'm not like Carmen Sandiego in the corner, trying to hide. But but I walk up very, very I look haggard as hell, but I walk up very jovial, like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
So Dr. Blackwell gives you kind of a quizzical look. He wasn't expecting someone this old. He's like, "So you're here for the student trip, I see."
Yeah, I'm just really interested in the things going on with I'd like to see the seance. I just like to get some questions answered.
Yeah, I see. Well, and he introduces himself and Amelia and Preston, and I won't be joining you. Unfortunately, I've got some work to do back at the university. But Mr. Cobb here will be sort of heading up the trip. So you should all be leaving tomorrow, and I believe we have one more person joining us. And as he finishes saying that, Detective Opal Dark walks up. And Detective, what are you wearing?
Who are you wearing?
Not Versace. So Detective Opal is in like trousers, suspenders, kind of that detective look, but badge is hidden, and her holster, she's wearing her holster that tucks away so it's not visible. And a long jacket because, it's Boston, so it's a little chilly. And she's got like a bag for the weekend.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. So he says, well, and I assume this is our other companion. Miss, your name?
Oh, hey, I'm Opal. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yes. Nice to meet you. And he introduces you to everybody, including Mr. Furman here. Well, Preston, I suppose this is your show. Should we maybe head to a cafe and sit down and talk, or should we just talk here?
Well, sure. I mean, we can get acquainted here, but I think, how far is it? I'm not from these parts. How far is Ipswich from us, Professor?
Oh, yes. probably a drive of 3 hours or so, I would say.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, 3 hours. I think that's be plenty of time to get acquainted. You see, my car, if we squeeze together, we could fit the four of us, the five of us, counting Miss Court here together. I believe that's probably plenty of time to get acquainted.
Yes. So in the I guess in the interest of moving this along, well, do you guys want to say it's Saturday morning then? That it's Saturday morning at 10 instead of saying it's Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like they meet and we're leaving. That's what
Okay.
I thought, kind of what was going on.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's say it's Saturday morning then at 10 a.m. That kind of makes more sense for the 10 a.m. meet time. Okay, so so what did Preston want to do? Did he want to sit down someplace or does he want to talk here?
Well, no, I mean, we have 3 hours. I mean, 3 hours to get to know each other. I mean, I got a few road games we can play as we drive along.
Yes. The seance begins at 8 o'clock, so I assume that we could maybe leave around, I was thinking like 4 o'clock or so.
Well, certainly.
Yes. All right. Well, so seeing that the group seems kind of loose here, and Dr. Blackwell's going to kind of step in and take over here. He's like, there's a cafe down the road. Let's go ahead and walk down there and get to know each other a bit and sit down and maybe have a bite to eat or some coffee.
So is he coming with us?
He's going to come with you to kind of like scope out who these people are. So
but he's not coming with us on the trip.
Right, yeah. He's heading up the trip, but he's doing the supervisor thing here, making sure that everything's copacetic here with Preston leading the way.
Gotcha.
All right, so he takes you down the road to a small cafe, and it's kind of like a coffee shop where you guys can sit down and maybe order something to eat.
So along the way, I think Preston was trying to get Dr. Blackwell just like to linger back a little bit. He's like, and he's like, doctor, I told you can trust me. I can handle these assignments that you're giving me. I think I've shown you over the 4 years of our studies together that I am an exceptional study. But I understand your apprehensions. I mean, looking at that Furman fellow, I mean, I could see the danger there, but I appreciate you joining us. But just to assure you, Dr. Blackwell, things will go smoothly here.
Yes. I will leave you to it. Obviously, Preston. I won't get in your way, and I'll be here just for an hour to sort of get a feel for your companions, and then I'll head off on my way.
Excellent.
All right, so you guys walk into a cafe, and a hostess seats you at a table. So, Preston, do you want to give them a bit of background here on the student trip?
Well, yes. So, Dr. Blackwell here has heard of. Let me check my notes here. Madam Eva Carriere. Am I saying it correctly, Dr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Yes. Well, she has a seance that she runs. She's pretty famous, I've heard, over there in Paris or Europe. And so we're going to go and take notes. See what this lady's all about. In the name of education, of course.
Yes. So, Miss Dark, could you maybe tell us about your interest in this field trip? Are you a student at Miskatonic?
Well, I'm not a student per se. I just, I was talking with my best friend, and you never stop learning. So I figured that I could tag along and find out, if it's true or not. She thinks it's really true, and I think maybe it's kind of true, but you just got to see it to believe it. So I want to see it before I believe it.
So, Michelle, give me a fast talk roll. It sounds like you're kind of shooting from the hip here and talking about a
BS roll.
Yeah. So fast talk is kind of like kind of what you just did. You overload the listener sort of with information to kind of confuse them or
language. Hold on, I'm looking for it.
I think it's at the
fast
top.
talk.
I think it should be alphabetical too.
Is it categorized?
Oh, it's under art, craft skills.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Fast talk is?
Yeah.
That's what it says on this character
Okay.
sheet.
Did it do
it's
it?
the very, very bottom of it.
Nice. Okay, so he again kind of looks at you oddly, and he's like, "Well, very well. That's fine." And Mr. Furman, are you? You're not a student at Miskatonic U, clearly.
Oh gosh, no, I'm far too old. Look at me. I'm not a student, but I did catch wind of the trip, and my late wife, she passed away while I was out fighting the Great War. But I was thinking maybe I could talk to her, and I heard that this lady'd be in town. I caught wind of it, so I'm here.
I see. All right. Well, I was hoping for a few more students, Preston, but I mean, we have 5 tickets, so here we are. All right. And at this moment, Amelia, who's remained kind of quiet, she kind of peeps up. She's like, "Actually, Dr. Blackwell, just with this Hob House thing at the university, I was thinking if it's okay with you that I might take a step back and maybe not go. I just feel like there's not much academic reason for me to go, and I'm really busy again with the Hob House estate and assisting Professor Leiter. Would it be bad if I decided not to go?" And Blackwell kind of sits back and he's like, "Oh well, I suppose not. Would it be possible? Could you maybe just not tell the dean that you didn't go? And because I want this to sort of feel like it's student activity, and if we only have Mr. Cobb here going, obviously that poses a bit of a problem." And Amelia's like, "Well, I don't really want to lie." And he's like, yes, of course not. Yes, just that's fine. You don't need to go. Just don't mention it to anybody. Just don't say anything about it.
Are we within earshot of this?
Yeah, you guys are all at the table, kind of listening.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna, if I could interject, is that possible?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna go. Gosh, well, if this whole thing's gonna go south, if we don't all go, is there maybe something we can do to make it happen?
Well, I've already secured the tickets, so I mean, at this point, I would like it if you could go, if you're all, of course, still interested.
Oh yeah, I'm very much interested. I can't wait to go. I just I'd hate if old Mr. Furman here can't get going, because just he himself's going and no students. There's nothing else we can do to make her go. Is she what's going on here?
Oh well, yeah, but I just have a lot of work, and there's a big university assessment coming up. A big an opportunity for me. I just feel like this is not. I don't have any reason to go, really. I hate to say. She kind of looks at Preston like, sorry.
Sorry.
Well, Amelia, you have caught us in a sort of a quandary here. I suppose if you want to go get assessed rather than do some real research, that's totally up to you. And he kind of says that condescendingly to her.
Are you scared?
Oh.
No, I no. I mean, I have purely academic interests in this, but again, I just feel like there's not much reason for me to go. I'm a history student. I don't know what some huckster has to do with history. A parapsychologist. I don't know.
Well, you see, often history is happening in the present. And one thing we can be doing is assessing the reactions to the populace to this Madame Eva Carriere. I for one believe that religion is just an opiate for the masses, but it is a necessary institution to control society. At least it would be beneficial to science to take part in understanding what is exactly drawing human beings to this Madame Carriere.
So, Preston, are you trying to persuade her to go, basically?
No, he's just trying to make her feel guilty as crap for bailing out.
Nice. That's what I figured was going on, man.
In his mind, it's like, okay, well, now there's 4 people and nobody has to squeeze in my back seat, so it doesn't.
Well, give me a persuasion check, and
Okay.
you're going to need a hard success for her to concede to go, because she's resistant to. But you are laying it on pretty thick, and she is already feeling guilty. So we'll see how that plays on her.
Now, is she a graduate student as well?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think that would be even more why he's laying it on. It's just because, like, my persuade's not very high.
That's okay.
Condescension is not necessarily persuading to those people.
That should be its own skill.
But I succeeded. I got an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Okay, so that's not a hard success, because a hard success would be 5 out of 10. So it is a success, but so she feels very guilty. But you also know Amelia to be sort of like a very studious and like about her studies. And like this Hob House estate thing is actually a big thing. So, I mean, because there could be, a bunch of documents and stuff. And that's not happening this weekend as well. But so it does kind of seem like she's giving you an excuse. Like she could go if she wanted to, but she's using, again, like this much more exciting academic study thing as an excuse to not go. So she does seem to feel guilty, but she's like, well, I understand, but I really feel like I should be there for Professor Leiter this weekend. I know that he's going to be setting up a lot of stuff for this Hob House thing.
Yeah, I think Preston at this point would let it go, but inside he's felt he's got a victory because he made her feel guilty because this is his assignment, and so at least he got her to pause and be like, okay, well, this is an important assignment that I'm bailing out on. I got something I think is more important, but he's not devaluing his work or what Dr. Blackwell gave him. So.
Nice.
With that minimal success.
All right. Oh, and then go ahead and tick that skill too. So when you guys have successes on skills, there's a little tick mark on your character sheets. Tick that skill so that at the end of the scenario, you have an opportunity to improve that skill.
Nice.
Okay, so at this point, Dr. Blackwell is looking to excuse himself, and he says, all right, well, if that's the case, Amelia, I suppose that you and I should perhaps head back to the university. I know you have some pressing things to take care of, as well as I do. So, Mr. Furman, Miss Dark, and Mr. Cobb, please have a good time, and let us know how the performance was when you come back.
Well, I just have one question. Who's got shotgun?
I get really bad motion sickness, so if I could please sit in the front, that would keep your seats clean there. But so I need air and front seat access, if that's okay with you.
Take the back, but not behind him.
All right, so Dr. Blackwell excuses himself, and Amelia accompanies him out the door. Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss or do?
Oh no! As soon as James could tell that like it was still happening, regardless of how many students were going, he was just like, "Man, I'm fine."
Okay.
So how soon can we leave? That would be Opal's request or inquiry.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say that it's like I don't know, noon, 1. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we ate, and we were all expecting to come back the following day.
Not necessarily. It starts at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So, and again, like with Call of Cthulhu scenarios, you sometimes want to do research or something like that. So if you guys want to do something like that, you probably have time before you head out, or you guys can head out early.
This is 10 o'clock same day, and we're trying to get there by 8.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And
it's
should
like a
take about
3-hour
3 hours.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could watch. I heard they're showing at the theater Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's one of my personal favorites.
Hey, well, I'm going to go ahead and read these newspapers, and I'm going to get another cup of coffee and just wait to go. I read that book, and I kind of know how it ends. So just to see some other guys play it out, I don't really have any interest in that.
You got any info on this Eva character? The seance lady, if you will?
Yes, and Preston?
Yes.
What info do I have from Dr. Blackwell besides just her name and that she runs a seance?
You probably wouldn't have any of the seedy details that like Mr. Furman got from the attorney. And again, like Dr. Blackwell kind of palmed this off on you, so it wasn't something that he was particularly interested in either. So unless you asked any particular questions, I mean, he'd probably just kind of tell you that it's a seance, that it could be, parapsychology is the thing that he kept on floating in the meeting to make it have some semblance of credibility. But yeah, this kind of seems like an odd student trip.
Yeah, I don't have much information for you, Miss Dark. I'm more interested in this trip for myself because I get to see more of this north. Where you Yanks live, get and experience more of the world up here. I mean, I know this research trip is loosely based in research, but I'll be going on to observe. That's a seance. You got some people. They sit. They chant. Special lighting. Wave some oils in front of some blue lights, and pretend we're going to be talking to the dead. If I wanted to pretend I was talking to the dead, I would just hang out with my father for an afternoon.
That's actually funny though.
So I reckon you don't believe in the seance stuff.
Well, no, and that's simply because hysteria is not necessarily a bringer of truth. I believe everything can be solved in one way or another with science and investigation. And if it can't be solved that way, I believe one day science will have the tools to arrive at the truth. But having a bunch of people in a room to chanting to one another, it'll be interesting research to see the reactions of people.
Interesting for sure, Mr. Cobb. Interesting for sure.
Hey, do you want to see my car?
Jesus.
So his car is like, 19, whatever. I didn't do my research on the 1920s vehicles, but if it's whatever the Model T was for the masses, it's the step up above that. So it's the Cadillac of the Model Ts. That's Preston Cobbs's car.
Nice. All right. Yeah, and it's 1920, so it's pretty early on in the 20s. So it might be. Is it a 1920 version of the car? Like, is it brand new or is it 1919 or something?
Whatever it is, it would be the brand new. It would be the whatever came off the line.
Nice. Okay. Do you guys go see? Well, I guess do Detective Dark and Cobb go see the movie or?
Well, Cobb's gonna go watch the movie since there's time to kill.
Okay. All right. So what do Mr. Furman and Miss Dark do, or do you guys just want to fast forward to departure time?
If there's nothing in the newspapers or anything locally that Furman would pick up on, he's literally just killing time. His sole mission is to go gain information when he gets there, and there's unless he stumbles upon something in the immediate area, there's nothing he's doing.
So give me.
Ooh, dice rolls.
Yeah, sure. Give me a library use roll. Just see, or maybe it's probably not even library use. It's probably luck. Just give me a luck roll.
Yeah, luck. Whatever he just kind of stumbles upon. Yeah. Where the heck is that on the sheet, sir?
It should be right under sanity, I believe. There's a little.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You're talking about the.
Yeah, luck's an actual roll in D&D normally.
Yeah, let me see.
If it's one of your stats, it's the next to power on the top.
Power. There's luck. So just literally roll luck.
Yeah, click it.
Click on that. Clicked on it. Hard success.
So
I'm a lucky son of a gun.
Nice. So you actually see like a little clipping of advertising the Madame Carriere. They call her Eva C in this newspaper clipping, but you see like a clipping for the seance happening in Ipswich today.
So the big question is, they went and had ticket. Like, do I have the ticket in my hand, or does Preston have all the tickets?
I guess Preston would probably have them. Okay. Dr. Blackwell probably, as he left, would have handed them to Preston. And
somebody had tickets printed to a seance.
Yes,
that's weird, man. Okay,
it's a ticket.
I'm picturing very circus-like looking ticket.
Kind of like that's.
Yeah, me too. When you say tickets, admission one, it's very cliche, but like to a seance seems like a basement type of deal. Like,
Yeah.
To have a ticket printed for that is very bizarre.
Yeah, but I guess that's what makes the event special, right? I mean, she's supposed to be famous she's famous in Europe and all of that.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, and that's Preston's interest is basically just to observe human behavior, like what's going on with this. He's more interested in like how are people reacting to this. I mean, he believes it's a bunch of baloney, no matter what. But he's like, how are people reacting to this?
But I think it's right for Furman to deduce that this seems kind of like a sideshow or like a circus. Like it has that kind of atmosphere, sort of.
Yeah, they had enough wherewithal to print tickets, then this is all baloney. Yeah.
Right.
So that's basically what I gather from that. Like, what the heck? Like it's advertised. There's tickets printed. Like this is, if it was a for real thing, like in the Great War, some crazy stuff he saw, like it's not advertised. Like that stuff's secret normally.
Yeah, yeah, and it also says in the advertisement that like this is like one of 3 stops in America, and then she's headed back to Europe. So it's like exclusive, like see Ava C, and
it's very weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll like before we go, if we're fast forward in time, I'll just like show them, hey, it's in the newspaper. We're getting going here. It's not a secret, but we seem to be the only people who seem to have bitten the hook.
All right, good. So, going on in the day, I guess Preston goes and sees a movie, and Dark and Furman, I guess you guys sort of hang out and maybe take up the town a little bit, maybe grab something to eat.
Yep.
As the day progresses, you notice that it's starting to rain. Well, not rain, but there seems to be kind of like storm clouds gathering. You see some dark clouds overhead, and it's getting cloudy as you guys are preparing to leave. And so we'll say you guys maybe leave around 4 or 5 o'clock, 3-hour drive.
Yeah,
that's good.
Okay, so we'll call it 4 o'clock, so you guys have a little bit of a lead time here. You guys head out of town in Preston Cobb's car, heading north up through Ipswich. So as you exit Arkham, it's a kind of suburban, and there's some houses, and then it kind of thins out a little bit to a little bit more of the Massachusetts countryside. Do you guys discuss anything along the way, or?
About halfway there, I pop up my briefcase and I go, "Hey guys, I happen to make some egg salad sandwiches. If you want some, I got some right here. I'll just pass it. I don't even like see consent. I start passing out triangles of sandwiches to people."
Well, I guess if it's a long ride,
this is as much of a surprise to me as it is to you guys.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And I just automatically start chowing down on these things like it's the God's sustenance.
So is it raining out right now?
So as you guys continue sort of out into the countryside, yeah, it does begin to rain. And it sort of seems like most of the rain is kind of behind you, like from the south. So as you guys are sort of heading out of town, it seems to kind of be chasing you in some kind of weird way. Like it seems like maybe there's clear skies ahead.
Well, I'm sure pleased that we paid for these extra slick tires that we put on this vehicle. You see, down in Georgia, the rain's they can come in a hard flash, and they could really sweep away a vehicle if you're not prepared. So just know, everyone in the car, that we're equipped well with these rain slick tires.
Well, in Boston, we get all kinds of weather, so.
Yeah, I know all about traction. When I had to stick my bayonets in some Jerry's and some foxholes, I understand
Oh, crap.
I understand having traction in your boots. It's yeah. So I'm glad they applied the same thing to some tires here. This is nice. Yeah. Sweet.
Nice. All right.
Sandwich. right back in. Not even affected.
So here's an odd question: do Dark and Cobb have any sandwiches, or is it just Furman who's eating them?
I'm still eyeballing it.
Well, now you wonder, right? Because
Opal's in the back, like. So I think she holds on to it for a while, then she finally goes.
Yeah. No, Cobb would eat the sandwiches. He wants to know what these northern.
Furman, this ain't too bad.
We'll ask the keeper. Are they bad or good?
We'll find out. So, All right, so you guys continue heading down.
I didn't know they were in there until the case opened either, dude.
Heading north into Ipswich, and again, now it's becoming a little bit more forested. So as the countryside gives way, there's a lot more trees around you, and the storm now appears to really be coming down. So as I said before, it was kind of chasing you. You guys appear to sort of be in the thick of it now, and it's okay for now. But if it keeps up like this, you could tell that it may be problematic to get to Ipswich because of that, depending on the condition of the roads and whatnot. So,
like cats and dogs out here.
So would we want to pull over? Is it like as Preston's driving, realizing that this is not a good deal?
Not yet. It's coming down pretty heavily, but I mean, still the roads seem to be in relatively good conditions. And again, like the brunt of the storm does seem to still kind of be at your back, so it seems like it might be wisest to keep going.
Okay. Well, I mean, down there in Georgia, I mean, we've heard of your nor'easters, but this is the real deal.
Nice. Okay, so you're now headed into much thicker wood, and as you may have guessed, the storm continues to worsen. And at this point, you guys, you really feel like those weather slick tires are coming into play here, because the ground, you've gone from like maybe a paved or gravel road into a dirt road, and you can tell that you're heading into kind of an area that is much less traveled. So you see, as you drive by, you see a sign that says Orchard Run 2 miles. And again, now as Preston's driving, you feel the rear wheels kind of give, and you kind of fishtail a little bit as you're going. And your worry might be that if you stop, that your car could become stuck. So it's kind of like you guys are in kind of nasty weather here.
Hey, just keep the course there, Preston. You don't want to, if we stop, I don't think we'll keep going. So just keep going forward, and just try to stay out of the ruts.
Oh well, this thing is state of the art. We made sure before I left to the Miskatonic. All right. Do I need to make a drive roll or anything like that?
I think at this point you do. So as you move probably another half mile down the road, the clouds have kind of rolled in. You're hearing a lot more thunder strikes that appear to be kind of close by. And you have to almost come to a crawl in the car because the visibility is so bad that, in order to see which way the road is kind of curving, you've got to go really slowly. So yeah, go ahead and give me a drive auto roll.
All right, here we go. That is a 94. I think I failed that.
We flip and roll and we're all dead.
So a botch is, what's your if you have a score below a 50 and you roll a 96 or greater, it's considered a fumble. So in this case, it's very close to a fumble, but not a fumble.
Yeah, I'm a 20 in drive auto. So
okay. So I'll just say that you really have to slow down at this point. Like, you were already kind of driving slowly, but now, I mean, you're basically crawling because you're not sure. You kind of slip, and you talk a big game, but apparently your driving skills are not quite as hot as you may have let on.
You're distracted about talking how great the car is that you hug it.
Yeah, so as he's talking about great the car is, you guys realize he's going about 10 miles an hour.
That's about right. That's about right.
I do believe my seersucker suit in order.
All right, so despite racing against the rain on your way northwards, the storm has finally caught up with you in earnest, and with it, night has fallen, abyssal black and riven by lightning. Conditions on the rain-swept road force your speed down to a virtual crawl so that your headlamps can pierce the gloom and keep you on the path. The only thing certain now is that the weather behind you is worse than that which surrounds you, driving you onwards. What should have been an eventless journey has become something dangerous and unpredictable. And then, without warning, that thunderclap came in at perfect time.
Nice.
something runs into the path of the car. A pale figure rears up as if from nowhere. And as you swerve and brake to avoid hitting it, You have just enough time to realize that the figure is a woman. Her eyes are wide and her mouth open in a scream. So, Preston, go ahead and give me a drive auto here one more time and see how well you do to avoid this woman.
He's about to kill this girl.
All right, so he says, jumping molasses.
Nice.
He rolls an 8.
Oh,
I got an 8.
Yes, so we don't kill Madame Eva. Yep. Molasses.
Something tells me that's not Madame Eva.
No, I know, I'm just guessing.
So you swerve out of the way, and
Jumping jackrabbits.
the woman seems so startled that she kind of doesn't even dodge. Like, you're just able to sort of swerve around her, but kind of as you swerve around her, you see her sort of like fall to the wayside and kind of fall to the ground. I think there's a little action shot here. Let me see. Ah, yes. Oh. So if you guys go over to roll 20.
The monitors. Ooh, okay.
Oh. She is not dressed for the rain.
She's dummy thick.
So it's almost like a woman wearing almost like is it almost like a flapper dress, like an evening wear, and she's jumping out of the way of the car?
Yeah, she seems very ill prepared to be walking around in the rain. And so, like, again, like, she, as you kind of approach her, she's extremely pale. She is not prepared for the weather, as Detective Dark said. She's an odd sight to see out here in the middle of the forest. So you guys now have the car sort of sideways and stopped, the beams kind of shining out into the forest, and this woman is kind of laying in the mud on the ground.
Yeah, James is going to fling out of the car as fast as he can and run over to her.
Okay.
And, like, he's got his coat with him and, like, just, like, tries to, like, are you okay there, darling? What's are you okay? What's going on?
Let me give you...
So how much insanity do I need?
No sanity. However, this is kind of a disturbing picture of her.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And the thunderclap on cue again, thank you.
Yeah, oh, no. Oh.
So, you see as you walk up to her, she's a bit scraped and looks kind of beaten up. Her eyes are wide, and she's just sort of laying on the ground, and she's kind of muttering to herself. She seems like...
Oh, I'm going to clap her.
Actually, give me a first aid roll before you do anything here.
Okay, before I clap her? Okay.
Before you clap her. Yeah, you're kind of checking her out, sort of assessing her here.
It's the 20s, a good clap was the way to go. First aid, all right. I think I'm pretty good in that, fighting the Great War and all.
And I would say Opal also got out of the car and just figured that she's kind of mentally checking, like, don't act like a cop, but... a scared girl might not, seeing another female might be comforting.
So,
okay.
Survival skills, would it be in there? I'm not finding it anywhere.
First aid, yeah, I don't know on the character sheets from roll 20, so you guys are kind of on your own.
Oh, wait. Combat.
Jonathan, what does Preston do as the two hop out of the car?
Well, so they hop out, like, very quickly, and I think he's a...
Would Preston be checking his car?
No, I think as he swerved to dodge her, I think he's a little bit kind of, like, shooken up the fact that he almost hit her.
Okay.
And then now that they're out of the car, he can take a moment to go, oh, without people seeing him.
I rolled a 76. Yeesh.
Okay, so again, you can't really tell what's wrong with her, but she does seem out of it, and she has some, like, visibly, scratches and stuff. And I don't know if you try and fix her up or not, but just kind of like giving her a look over.
Oh, I try to slap the delirium right out of her.
Okay, so you like smack her in the face?
Yeah, well, in the 20s, that's what folks thought that would bring you back. But
that or smelling salts, right?
Yeah, I don't have any of those on me. It's raining, so next best thing's back of the hand.
Okay. So you smack this broad across the face, and
yes, broad. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
And
So Opal's gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
First aid. This is second aid.
So this woman kind of comes to as you smack her, and you hear under her voice, she's like, grandfather.
I don't see any grandpappies around here.
So, guys, she thinks I'm her grandfather. I've already I've already administered the first aid. So I think we should get her into the car out of the rain so we could, check her for wounds. Did you hit her, Preston? What happened?
Oh, so Preston's still in the car, and he's just seeing you guys talk as the rain's pouring down with your two doors open.
Gotcha.
And so he's like, "Is she okay?"
She thinks I'm her grandfather. Do you think you hit her? I wasn't really paying attention.
No. I most surely did not hit her.
Something
Good.
happened to her in the woods.
That's a much scarier thing, but okay. Let's just stick to the problems at hand. Let's get her out of the rain here and get her warm. Does she feel like she's cold?
Yes.
So she's definitely cold.
Yeah, her fingertips are cold. Her skin is cold. I mean, it looks like she may have been wandering out here for, I don't know. Again, based on your first aid check, you're not quite sure. A little while.
Yeah. Okay, so Opal, if I do it myself, but I want to end up in a cell later. If you could just get close to her and warm her up, maybe in the back seat, and I'll keep eyes at the windshield, and we'll just keep driving. You warm her up.
All right, so Mr. Furman.
So Opal,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Opal kind of helps get the jacket and says, "Come on, we're gonna help you. It's okay."
Nice.
The one person who's not a creep.
Right? Is she all muddy?
Well, she is now because she's as you kind of dodged her, she sort of fell over and into the mud. So.
Okay. Well, hold on until Preston pops the truck and gets out a blanket.
I thought you were gonna put her in the trunk.
No. He gets out a blanket to. Here you can cover her with that. I mean,
But he's protecting the seat.
But you can you cover her with that so you can keep her warm and protect my seat.
Nice.
Under his breath.
So as the two gentlemen are ushering this woman in the car, Opal, go ahead and give me a power roll. That's a skill, that's a what's it called? It's one of your base traits. It's not a skill.
We'll get
in the top,
down later.
Yeah.
it's something on the top.
And I think it should be somewhere near the top, probably.
Yeah, it's at the very
I see it.
end.
Okay, it's like
so roll power
make
for
this
me.
bigger. Okay, here we go.
Nice.
Opal, you sense that someone is watching you out in the forest. Like you feel like there are a set of eyes on you.
Not cool.
Not cool though.
I know. The thing that gets me is you roll a power. Ugh.
Yeah, right.
So Opal's first instinct is to kind of reach back where she's like,
Nice.
She reaches back, but then she's like, and kind of reaches back, but like slides her hand back up, and she's kind of looking around, and she's like, Furman, you see anything? Hear anything? Besides the rain?
So, is there anything maybe I can roll?
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you guys go ahead and roll spot hidden here.
All right. I don't see anything. I rolled a 72. Nope, just lots of rain.
You guys don't spot anything, but it like again, like Opal, you really can't shake that feeling of being watched. But you don't say anything.
Thanks, Seth.
Guys, I think let's load her up and let's get this slick tire wagon back on the road. Get out of here.
Oh yes, the 1920 slick tire wagon. Let's get it going again. Yeah, crank start this thing. What is it?
Yeah, we'll say that the engine didn't cut because the drive auto was good, so it's still running.
Cool. All right, let's get going down the road.
All right, so he'll start at is whatever the weather allows him. If he can inch it up to 15 or 20 miles per hour.
Breakneck speeds, pal. Take it easy.
All right.
I want to say Opal's like looking out the window. Like she is like, she's got the frail wet thing here, but she's like peeled to this window, like high alert.
Give me one more spot hidden check then, if that's the case.
Nice.
Oh. As you're driving, and this comes from behind you, so as you're kind of leaving the spot where you swerved out of the way, you swear for a moment you see a flash of light, and you think that it might be someone with a flashlight because the trees are so thick and dense that you just like almost just see kind of like a quick flash of light, like, and it's centered on a spot. So you think that someone maybe might be out there with a flashlight. That's probably your guess.
Will I have noticed if anybody else saw it?
No one else seems to be looking as hard as you. That's the only reason why I gave you the second spot.
No, we're men. We're fine.
So I would say Opal did one of these where she's like, and then she doesn't see it. I assume because she only sees it the one. So she's like.
So she rubbed her eyes and looked, and she
kind of looked again and was like, "Oh man, we gotta get out of this rain." So she's just not sure whether she wants to believe what she saw just yet.
Nice.
Because she doesn't know what to think of it.
Very good. All right, good. All right, so you don't say anything to your partners here?
No.
Okay. All right, so Preston, as you're driving along, you see another sign come up, and it says Orchard Run Gas and Cafe, half mile.
Okay.
Well, we definitely need to stop there.
And then just past that sign, you see a little offshoot to your left from the road that goes off into darkness, but it's an offshoot from the main road.
To go over to, assuming Orchard Run Cafe.
No, I think that you would probably assume that the Orchard Run Cafe is on this main road. Like there just seems to be almost like a driveway, like a break in the trees, and you see kind of like a small service road of some sort, maybe. Kind of peel off in the darkness.
He would stay on the main highway. It's like just 10 and he's just like 10 and 2, like.
Yeah.
Okay. So you drive up and you see some light ahead, and as you pull up to what appears to be kind of like a small rest stop, you see a sign out on the roadway, and then further along in the roadway, you notice a flatbed truck that is like peeled out in the middle of the road, and it has its lights on and its door is open, but from what you can tell, there's nobody in the car. And then just to the right of the truck, then kind of off onto the side, there's a graveled, kind of paved surface area. You see a gas station that has no lights on, and it looks to be kind of closed for now. And then you see a bright cafe just beyond it, and there are some lights on, and you sort of see some folks wandering around in the cafe. And there's one car parked out in front of the cafe as well that you can see. Aside from the flatbed truck that's in the middle of the road.
Park at the cafe.
Hey, Preston, you should just continue on the cafe, but I'm not too sure about that stop there, that truck.
Don't stop at that truck.
Well, okay. I'll just pull into the cafe.
All right. So you guys pull into the cafe and park.
Now, if we turn to the little thing and...
By the little thing, do you mean the living
lady
that we picked up? Yes.
The wet lady we picked up in the forest. If I asked her, can you tell us your name? Do you know where you are? Does she respond?
So she's almost kind of like unconscious as you guys are driving along. Let's see. Oh no, I can't. One moment, let me adjust this real quick.
No problem. Seth is adjusting. Oh, whoa.
Okay. So you guys can all see the cafe. Okay, good. So yeah, back in the distance there is the gas station is kind of blacked out, and then the cafe here with the open windows, and then there's the truck right in front of you. So as you try and get this woman to respond, she just even when she does come to, she just keeps muttering about her grandfather. And you get the sense that she seems to be worried, preoccupied with something about her grandfather. She just oh, grandfather.
Can we tell that she's delirious at all?
Yeah, you do. Well, yeah, I mean, do you want to roll first aid and get a sense of, because, I mean, we had Furman roll it, but he failed miserably. He slapped her in the face.
Yeah. Preston, I already hit her. Nothing much else we can do. I mean, I slapped her and she's still talking about her grandfather, so it's something else going on. We should go see a medical doctor. It's not much else we can do. I've hit her already, okay?
Well, let me just let me just look at her. I mean, I have had a few health and medical classes in my undergraduate days. So he just takes out. No, he actually just takes out like a. I don't know if they have pen lights in the 1920s, but maybe something similar. If he moves a flashlight,
small light.
And he just shines it into her eyes. You want me to make a first aid check?
Yeah, give me a first aid check.
All right, so I got a 41 out of 30, so that's a fail.
Yeah, you don't get a real sense of what's wrong with her. You do kind of assume that she's delirious just because she's been kind of talking jibber jabber and not really with it. Yeah, not much else you can get.
Yeah, well, I think the young lady just needs some rest.
Maybe some food?
So does it look like this is like a motel area? Like, is there a place to stay?
No, it looks more like a rest stop. So there's a cafe and a gas station.
Yeah, we should probably get in there at a cafe. Yeah, getting some light and find out if maybe somebody around her knows her. See if there's a telephone or something around, some communique. We can actually phone some help.
Well, without anybody ask her name?
I believe her name so far is grandfather. So
try to talk to her. Not so good.
Well, without a name, I mean, maybe we can find some hospitable folks that might take her off our hands.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea to me.
Agreed.
I guess Preston will start looking
they might
around
know
for
who
just.
She is.
We can just yeet her into the cafe.
Well, I think Preston will just start looking around for anybody that looks like they are
country folk.
Well, helpful. Like anybody that looks like there's someone that works here, and that's what he would be looking for.
So are you guys going into the cafe?
Yeah.
Okay, because apparently as you look around, like the only thing that seems to be open really is the cafe. And besides that, it's just like dark woods and then kind of the darkened gas station behind you.
Yeah.
All right, so do you guys bring in this woman with you?
Yep. Yeah. Keep her
don't leave her in the car. I mean, I don't bring her in with us.
You don't want your car driving away.
Okay. So you guys usher her into the cafe, and Dark, Opal, are you following them? Are you going inside with them?
I will go in with them.
Okay. As you walk in, the layout of the cafe is that it's kind of L-shaped. So going northward, it's kind of longer, and there's a series of windows facing the outside, and then there's booths all the way down the row, and then sort of in the middle of the cafe, there's a long table with a bunch of stools. You see a young woman behind the register, and she seems to be like pouring coffee. There is also a man. So the woman behind the register. I'm going to share a couple things here with you guys. So this is the young woman behind the register. Oh, let me see if I can stretch this out a little bit.
So if you're listening, she's is she young, attractive?
Yes. So she's a young, attractive waitress. She's short and kind of fit, wearing a little waitress uniform. Then you see a man sitting in one of the booths, and he's sort of like lying down almost, or kind of maybe up on one elbow, and he's drinking a cup of coffee, and that's this man here. And then there's another
looks
man.
Like a mountain man.
There's
a
another
homeless
man,
person and Kristen Bale. Okay.
There's another man standing over him, who is sort of wearing a shirt and tie, and he seems to be kind of patting him on the back and kind of coaxing him. And
describe him as the guy from Monopoly when he's not happy.
very thick mustache, prominent mustache.
Yeah.
Comb over here.
No monocle, no top hat. So just the Monopoly guy minus those things.
So as you walk in, you hear this gentleman with the large beard talking, and he seems to be a little bit scattered, and he's like, there's a deadline, I say, that threw me over the side of the road. And the other gentleman standing over him is like, well, yes, Jake, I understand. And then as you guys walk in, everybody, ding, as you guys enter the
record scratch, everyone looks over.
The cafe, everybody turns and looks as you guys walk in.
Is this a good time to break it?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
So everybody give me a psychology roll.
All right. Let's find that.
Ooh, I don't think psychology.
Yeah.
Right. Got 32. That's a failure.
Found it.
So Opal failed, and James, you got a 10.
Yeah. Sorry, my first roll was a 10. I accidentally rolled twice.
And
But
what's your base skill on that, or do you have any?
my base skill is 10.
10. So that's a success. Okay. When you walk in,
Norman knows what's going on.
when you walk in, you see a face on the waitress. You gather that maybe she's
Did you
surprised.
say I see a face on the waitress?
You see, like
I should hope so.
She makes a
Sorry. Go ahead.
she makes a face at you. So as you kind of
There we
enter,
go.
like you see her kind of make a strange face
right.
as the woman, as you like are carrying the woman inside. Like she's almost like you kind of gather that maybe she's surprised to see this woman.
Oh, that's not cool.
And so like as you guys walk in, the bearded gentleman kind of sits up, and then
You would hope that the first reaction would be like, "Oh, we should help this hurt person," but they're surprised to see her. Okay, creepy.
So only the waitresses. That's what the roll is for. So you see
Okay,
kind of that
gotcha.
strange look from her, and then the guy who seems to be in charge, the guy with the big walrus mustache, comes over and he's like, "Yes, can I help you all?"
Oh, Mr. Charisma, go ahead and talk.
Oh well, you see, we found this young lady out on the road, and I barely missed her with my car.
Oh.
And you see, we're not sure where
We did
she's
miss
from,
her.
but he takes out his pocket watch and he's like, "We do have an engagement to get to. I'm hoping that someone here knows her or can take care of her."
Oh, here, yes, yes. Well, this is Amelia from down the road. Her, Amelia Webb. What happened to her? And he's like, please, come bring her, sit her down here in one of the booths. And as you guys walk into the cafe and maybe set her down in a booth, you also see in the back corner, you see an older couple. So they're kind of sitting on the long part of the cafe back in the corner, and they're just kind of sitting quietly. They're kind of chatting amongst themselves, but they don't seem to be taking much note of you guys for now.
Diner fodder, old
Does
people.
the girl seem to kind of perk up, or how does she change?
So I'm just going to call them by their names. They'll eventually introduce themselves. But
Gotcha.
the cafe owner, Sam, the guy with the walrus mustache, snaps his fingers and he's like, Mary, bring some coffee here for Amelia. And she's like, all right, got it. And she pours a cup of coffee and starts running over. And then you see Jake, who is he looks to be kind of maybe a farmer of some sort. He's kind of dressed like rustically, probably suspenders and a coat, kind of a weathered, maybe off-white shirt. And he comes over and he's like, well, what happened here?
Well, you see, I almost hit her with my car. She was wandering out in the woods and jumped right out in the road.
Yes, I see. She maybe she was running from that dead light out there.
You keep saying a second
light.
time I've heard that term, dead light. What is the dead light?
Yeah, that's my car on the road out there. There was a line in the road, and I swerved, and it started pursuing me.
Was it another vehicle? Did you make the occupant angry? Maybe.
No, it was just a ball of light, and I felt threatened, and I ran in here.
Preston doesn't know what to do with that, so he's just looking to his
it's
two
just like-
comrades.
Literally,
yours is a
James
truck?
is like, huh.
So when he sees your guys' reaction, he's like, "Are you calling me a liar?"
No, sir.
Now, just a whole lot of things going on right now. Okay, Jake. We got this lady here, and now we got you. And we, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of emotions going on around here.
Yeah,
Just,
that's right.
everybody just calm down. Okay, we don't know what to do. Not saying one thing or another, but we do have some place to be. So if you guys know this gal, if you could just maybe hang out with her, make sure she's okay. We got to get going.
Well, she's not my responsibility. I suppose you're not dropping her off on me. I've got places to be.
Son of a bitch.
Well, does she have kin?
I don't know. I've seen her around. I don't know who she is. And then Sam kind of steps in, the guy with the big mustache. He's like, no, yes, Dr. Webb. He lives down the road a bit. He's sort of the town physician, and this appears. This is his granddaughter, I believe. Mary, get that coffee over here. And so Mary comes over and kind of hands a cup of coffee to Amelia, and she kind of shakily drinks from it. She seems to kind of appear to be gathering her wits a bit.
What was the name? The grandfather's name?
Dr. Webb.
Dr. Webb, yeah.
I gotcha.
Can we go 10 more minutes, Michelle?
I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. Everybody roll me a Constitution check, and Thomas, roll it with a penalty die.
How do I do that?
I think after you make the roll.
Okay, so roll it, and then I clicked on penalty after that, right?
So, yeah. So so how the penalty die works is you rolled a 77 and an 87.
Okay,
so with the penalty die, you take the worst roll. So you rolled an 87.
Okay.
And Opal success and Preston success. Perfect. James, you suddenly feel the urge, and you think it's because of all those damn sandwiches that you ate. You suddenly feel the urge that you need to drop a deuce, my friend.
All right, so I lean over to Preston and go, hey, I need to use the facilities, if you don't mind. And as I interrupt myself walking to the restroom, and I ask, what's the name of the thin Taft-looking guy, the guy with the mustache?
Sam, I just wonder if you could maybe point me in the direction of the lavatory. I need to take the kids to the pool. So as you say that, the old man sitting in the back of the room is like, oh, Sonny, I'm glad you said something. I've got to use the restroom as well. You can use my umbrella.
Oh no! Okay.
It's outside.
Well, hearing that, James has a bad feeling in his tummy.
And Sam tells you when the old man speaks up, he's like, yeah, the water closet is around the side of the building, north end of the building. There, you'll find it.
All right, ding a ding a ding. I'm gone out the door.
Do you wait for the old man, or do you head out without him? No.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not. I only packed one pair of slacks, and I'm not about to cash them in.
Okay. All right. So while James is off running to the bathroom, the old man follows him and goes off to the water closet with him, slowly tracking behind him.
Here's blam 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 around the corner. Sorry, go ahead.
What are Preston and Opal doing while he is indisposed?
What was the man who said that he saw the dead light? What was his name?
His name is Jake.
Jake. Jake, do you know anything else about this dead light?
Oh, no, I've never seen it before. And, I was driving down the road, heading back to my farm, and it drove me off the road. Very bright and cold. It was a cold night, and I got out of my car, and it started chasing after me, and so I came into the cafe here. I didn't like it. I'll tell you that much. I have a mind to go get my shotgun.
I think Preston would be talking to the owner. What was his name again?
Sam.
So he'd be asking Sam, can you assure us that just Amelia will be taken to her grandfather?
Well, are you planning on leaving in this storm? And it's buckets outside.
Well, we don't have a place to stay.
Well, yes, I suggest you all stay here until the storm passes over. I don't think it's a smart idea to be driving around.
Well, we have an engagement. The 8 p.m. in Ipswich. How far is Ipswich from here?
Oh, you've still got another 90 minutes, probably.
Son of a bitch.
You're not going to get very far. I would say your engagement it's canceled for tonight.
Oh, blast. Well, do you have a bedding? Do you have a motel?
I should say not. There is, you could perhaps... Well, I don't imagine this is going to last all night. You could sleep on one of our booths, perhaps, if you need be. It's warm in here at least.
That is unheard of. Sleep in a booth?
Oh, I suppose you could drive off if you like. Good luck to you, sir.
That's a polite way of saying F off, man. Good luck to you.
Preston would just be kind of like flabbergasted at the fact that someone's suggesting that he's going to sleep inside of a diner, and so he'll just kind of tell his associates what our options are, and just leave it up to them. Yeah, do you have a phone, sir? A working phone?
Yes, there's a phone in the back, actually. Why don't I take you back?
Okay, he'll follow him back because he wants to call Dr. Blackwell and tell him that this might not happen.
Okay.
Can Opal use the opportunity while everybody's out to walk over to the waitress?
Sure.
And say, hey, I noticed you didn't look, didn't have the same expression as everybody else when we walked in. How do you know that girl over there? Just curious.
Well, technically you wouldn't know that because that was Furman who got that role. But
Okay.
I'll allow you.
Could I just ask her if she knows anything about? So I could just So I could say
she's acting suspiciously anyway. So I think that's a fair question.
Do you happen to know anything about that poor girl we brought in, or this deadlight that Farmer Ben over there is talking about?
Well, I don't know nothing about no deadlight, but I've seen Amelia around town. She drives a real fancy car. Lives with a silver spoon in her mouth down there with her Dr. Webb.
Hell of a voice there, Seth. not kidding. Good job.
That was good.
Man of a million
she
voices.
lives with Dr. Webb?
Oh yeah, she's his granddaughter. She I don't know. She goes to college or something, and Dr. Webb takes care of her. Bought her that brand new car. Oh, she's a real sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Anything else unusual or weird? We're going down to where are we going?
It itches, I don't know.
And
Well, I'm sure you're going to have to wait here until the storm passes. I can't imagine it. I mean, there's at least another 5 miles through these dirt roads and dark forest. I don't imagine it's a smart idea to go driving out there right now.
oh. All right, well, thanks for the advice.
Sure.
Roll me another psychology, I guess.
Cut to James and these 5 tentacles dead right now.
Failure. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Let's cut to James. So, James, do you
Don't cut to James. He's not ready.
do you have a light source as you head out into the rain? Do you have a umbrella?
I've got a like a Bic lighter. That's all I've got. That's all I have. Like one of those flipped lighters.
Great.
No, I know I'm screwed, dude.
All right, so you wander around the long side of the diner, and most of it is lit pretty well because the light from the inside is sort of cascading out onto the parking lot. And then around the corner, it gets very dark, and you see kind of like an old like a wooden door. It has large slats. It has like the little moon symbol cut into it.
I'm in there immediately. I know what that's all about.
So
That's my office now.
You bolt the latch on the door as you sit down, and
Cheeks hit the seat as it happens.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're gripping the sides like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that for a sandwich.
Yeah.
After about 30 seconds, you hear like a soft knock at the door. He's like, "Oh, Sonny, it's me, Teddy Brewer, out here. I just let you know, I'm keeping an eye out for you. I can use the bathroom after you."
Yeah.
I'm handling my business as fast as I can. You're more than welcome to it as soon as I'm done. But mid dump, and then there's only room for one. I'll be out as fast as I can.
Oh, sure. Take your time. I'm just keeping an eye out for you. So
I appreciate it, there, Teddy.
Go ahead.
This is the second acting thing I've done with you with poop, by the way.
Go ahead and roll me a listen check.
Okay. Get to my sheet real quick. Listen.
Can I get to your sheet?
All right. Oh no. God, garbage rolls, man. 74.
So as you're sitting there going to the bathroom, you suddenly notice kind of under the floorboard and between the slats, you see like flickering light sort of flashing through. And it starts to get a little bit brighter, and you don't hear anything until you hear the old man just scream out in utter terror, just breaks the silence, just
Oh,
and then it's,
okay.
And then
Now
it's,
you're finished on the toilet.
And then it's silent.
All right, so I'm going, hey, Teddy?
And the light kind of flickers underneath the door.
I don't say anything anymore. I'm grabbing the corn cobs or whatever the heck they have in here that they don't have toilet paper. That's not a thing at this point. So corn cobs and leaves, and I'm, if I'm done with my business, I'm trying to finish up and get back in there as fast as I can.
Okay, so you got the corn cob and the leaves or whatever it is.
That's what
you're
they
wiping
had,
yourself, and you see sort of the light kind of dissipate and sort of flicker away.
I'm immediately gonna look. I'm not calling out for Teddy, but do I look around? Do I see anything?
So you open the door, and where are you looking? So there's kind of like, there's
ground.
floor is the ground.
On the ground. Yeah.
Okay.
Like immediately lighter to the floor, trying to see if there's like anything.
You see a soggy pile of mud, and it's kind of hard because it's already gravel and there's already water on the ground as well. But you distinctly see some kind of like gray sludge or gray dust right outside the bathroom door.
Okay. I'll take out like a handkerchief and just put it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think we should call it there.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good place. All right. I'll pick up a glop of that later. My handkerchief.
Okay, we can cover that. So you're gonna put some of the stuff in your.
Yeah, and I'll be heading into the diner. So.
All right. Nice.
Gross.
I don't need to write Teddy Brewer's name down anymore, I guess.
All right, guys. Well.
All right, guys.
That was Deadlight Session 1. Thank you guys for joining us. And any parting words from you guys? Anything for next time?
Oh God. Don't eat egg salad sandwiches and drive in the night.
Looks like we're staying the night in a diner. So
Yeah.
We'll see how that phone call works out next time.
Oh no.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for some more streams from Page to Stage. We'll see you guys next time. See ya.